The horses are always giving us clues. You know that, I know that. They communicate via body language when we are trying to understand a behavior. Most horse owners love their horses dearly. They are so deeply committed, time-wise, financially, into understanding, but they're still confused. Patterns in the horses were also in the humans. I have spent the last 7 months of 2025 across 5 different countries treating a variety of horses, from elite show jumpers in Dubai to the most remote, quiet areas in Bali of rescue horses, therapy horses, all kinds I have treated this year. No matter where I was, I've sat back and I've asked myself, there's something that everyone is seeking. This is what I've noticed. The horses are always giving us clues. You know that, I know that. They communicate via body language when we are trying to understand a behavior, when we're trying to understand why every time we put pressure on that left leg, we get that bulged rib cage feeling, the falling out of the right shoulder, your left arm is in pain, you've got to go see your own physiotherapist, all because you're trying to bend and flex your horse to the left. The second thing I noticed was most horse owners love their horses dearly. They are so deeply committed, time-wise, financially, into understanding, but they're still confused. The third thing I noticed, this might rub a few feathers, was that the patterns in the horses were also in the humans. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you the 3 biggest things and practical tools you can take home and implement straight away that I've learned traveling the world, working with horses globally, and why your own health, energy, and nervous system might just be the link that you're missing to understand the performance that you're seeking. This year was genuinely a year, and it's only July, of a lot of frustration, a lot of learnings, a lot of failures, tears, emotional stress. And I'm going to share with you so that I hopefully can save you a lot of time and the same energy. When I was working with elite horses, so by this I mean horses that are competing at advanced level dressage up to Grand Prix, also working with eventers and show jumpers, jumping some very big fences, competing for a lot of prestige. This level, you know what I'm talking about. They might have a lot of resources, but still seeking answers, still frustrated, still have the same frustration, worry, and doubt that working with some of the rescue horses here in Bali, some of the therapy horses in Thailand, all seeking, which is answers and understanding to why their horses are performing they are, why they are struggling. And it might not be what you think. So many of us think it's more money, more resources, more diagnostic, all matter. Okay, of course, having accurate diagnostic tools can really help. But when I was in Thailand and Bali, I noticed that despite not having the money, despite not having access to a regular therapist, veterinarian, it's how they became resourceful with the limited tools they had. And I learned some of the most mind-blowing tools that people with very little are doing to help their animals, to help their horses, bodies, mind, and it's again not what you think. The 3 core lessons that I learned were: number 1, the love of horses is so deep. It is something that even the most direct, blunt, seemingly unemotional person that works with horses gives out. They have this feel, this unspoken love for maybe their horse, maybe it's a horse in the past, but it's a feeling. The second thing I noticed, resources do not replace relationships. So working with some of the rescue horses that have extreme trauma, they have had, oh my God, some of the stories and abuse these horses have been through, and fortunately have landed in the right loving arms of the ladies here in Bali. I recognized that it wasn't about all the resources they had. They didn't have the money, all the fancy tools, but they did have the relationship the time to understand what the horse was trying to say, allowing that horse space. Come on, guys, if you ever had a trauma, okay, we all process trauma very differently. And also, even though you might feel fine, something might trigger us that then sends us into a spiral of crying where we go, I just don't know why I'm crying today, but I'm just letting it out. Why would it be any different with these horses? And that is what I really recognized here, that no matter the resources, very little resources or money, that the fact that these ladies had the relationship to give these horses time and space, observe, changed their relationship completely. And in these hands, the horses healed. They never forgot, but they healed. The third thing, and this really hit a few riders quite hard, was that the horses mirror the humans. It goes back into the previous point and then to the previous point. I've mentioned this in one of my previous videos, so if you haven't already watched it, go and flick through the channel. I have so much information on this. When I'm working with a horse, before I go into a stable, I ask myself the primary question, which is, how am I today? If I'm a little bit agitated or angry or something's just frustrated me, or I'm feeling a bit low or a bit down, I consciously do some work before I enter the space of a horse to say, right, this is where I am today. And even if I'm just an 8 out of 10 or 5 out of 10, admitting it is so much better than showing up and saying, do you know what, I'm absolutely fine. Because guess what? The horses see through what you're saying. They go into your body, they read through body language. And even if I'm fine, I'm absolutely fine, but I'm like this, you can tell I'm not fine just from my body language. And that's what the horses do. Where if I'm like this and then I go, okay, how am I today? Well, you know what? I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm a 4 out of 10. I'm just going to do some breath work. Whatever works for you. For me, the breath work really helps because it's something I can do on the back of a scooter, in the car, wherever. I can just close my eyes, check in with how I'm doing. Okay, I'm a little bit sore today. I'm not feeling great. I'm not going to bring this to the horse that I'm working with, to the owner that I'm working with. That is the first thing I'm asking myself. If you want to take this one step further, because you're like, Nika, I resonate with that, here are 3 more questions you can ask. Once you've checked in with yourself, you then non-judgmentally, that is key, no expectations, that is also key, ask yourself, what is going on with the horse that I see in front of me today? So many riders, and I recognize this in all across the world, so many riders, especially if you are driven to a goal of performance, okay, because you have an expectation of, okay, I want to get from novice to elementary or from elementary to medium, and subconsciously we need to master this lateral work, or why won't this bloody horse, I love him, just extend through his back and stay consistent? So we almost obsess over it because we want the progress feeling of, oh my God, they did it. This is a subconscious expectation, whether we say it or not. And many riders, if they've had a really good ride the day before, bring that forward into the present session, and maybe the horse doesn't give you that same feeling. So you go, oh my God, but you only did it yesterday. Come on. Maybe you put more pressure on. Let's go. Let's do it. Instead of thinking, okay, if before I got on this horse, how were they in the stable? How were they before I brought the tack into the stable? How were they when I put the saddle on? Was there any difference in the behavior today? And if there was, don't ignore it. Okay, that's the second question. How is my horse or the horse I'm working with today? The third question is, what is going on in the environment? Okay, what is going on around? Is it a quiet environment? Is it a loud environment? What is going on around me from a sensory stimulus perspective? That's the third thing. And the fourth thing is, how is the horse reacting to the environment? So many of us, and I see this with equestrians, they focus on the second and the fourth point. The second and the fourth point. What's going on with the horse and the environment? They miss out what's going on with myself, me, the rider, 50% of the partnership, and what is going on with the horse and the environment before I apply my pressure and my expectation. If you haven't already, don't forget to give me a subscribe and follow. I am on a mission to help more horse owners around the world, and I'd be so grateful to share, like, and leave a comment. Now, all this travel meant that I didn't have my resources, the tools that I normally fall back on when I am in a routine and in my home base. So that meant that I had to stick to my 3 principles. And these are the principles that I actually now help female equestrians with by coaching them and working with them online. It's actually very, very personal because I tailor it. I'm also, though, going to give you the 3 things that I base these foundations on. Number 1, nutrition. Number 2, movement. And number 3, brain gym, which is all about managing stress, your nervous system. Those 3 principles all over the world have allowed me to not only show up being the best version of myself, meant that I am strong, I'm recovering well, I'm thinking clearly, my energy has been good. So that's to me taking responsibility for how I'm showing up with these horses. And in that snowball effect has meant that the horses I've worked with have had good responses. They've had moments where the owner's going, oh my God, I really needed to hear that. Light bulb moments of, that is why I've been struggling with that left canter for so long. It brings me a lot of joy when I see riders have that moment. And the same goes for when I'm working with the horses. And the biggest thing when you are more in your body and understand how your body works and recognize that you're human and some days you won't be that good and other days you will, is that honesty the horse reads. That honesty is contagious. It's an energy that's contagious and the horses pick up on that. So when you have that foundation, you slow down. I slow down, which means that I give the horse time to speak, to show me. And in that happening, when I do perform any adjustment, when I do apply any pressure to what area of the body, I step away, I go away, and I allow the horse to process. Because your nervous system, my nervous system, the horse's nervous system can't process and experience things at the same time. So when we apply a form of an aid, say a leg aid, and we just expect them to do everything right, what about first allowing the horse to experience that trigger or that bit of pressure you put on and then allow them to process it? So one of the biggest things when I'm working with female riders and they're trying to improve either their health is we give the tool, apply the tool, and then recognize how the body's responding. This has so many benefits because it also allows your nervous system to hardwire quicker, to get there quicker. That is a game-changing tool and lesson. If you take that forward into your everyday life today, you will notice big changes in your life over the long term. If you are struggling to know what's going on with your horse and you're thinking, Nika, I've spent so much money, time, resources, and I've had enough, but I really want to know, I want to understand my horse better, I have really exciting news, because if you click on the link below in the school group, I have a completely free community of like-minded female horse women, no matter what discipline you're in, to come together to work on not only your health, but the health and understanding of your horse, so that you can both show up in a 50-50 partnership together and achieve whatever you want to achieve, whether that is reaching that elementary goal, whether that is going for a hack on your own and feeling confident, whether it's waking up in your body every day and feeling like you actually like being in your body.